Hello everybody, welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. This is just a quick match reaction for you guys to whet your appetite for tonight's live show. Match reaction to the first match of the weekend, Brentford versus Fulham. And can you say the word underwhelming? Oh my goodness me, it literally would have been more entertaining watching paint dry. I can't believe I've actually put myself through watching that entire match. But I did it for you guys because I imagine most of you probably did not. So, basically, nothing happened. The story of the match is going to be a very long match reaction video. Nothing happened. That's it. We can end the video now. No. So, obviously, we do our match predictions every week on a Friday evening with Kai from behind the dugouts. We did those yesterday. Lots of different predictions. But I thought we were going to have goals. Both of these teams are trying to get into the European spots. Both of these teams are trying to do something that they either haven't done in quite some time or in Brentford's case, haven't done ever. So you would have thought, you're at the business end of the season, they're nearly there. Some people were even talking about Brentford sort of almost in contention for the Champions League spots because of where they are in the league. If a number of teams dropped off and they were ready to pounce, not that they would get it, but that they were in and around the vicinity of it, which was incredible. To watch Fulham and Brentford today, you absolutely would not know that these were two teams that were going for European football. You would think they were kind of mid to lower part of the table. It just looked like nobody wanted it. There was no quality. There was no star. There was no just that little thing extra. Both teams were sort of trying. The match started with primarily Brentford attacking. Iwobi lost the ball a number of times for Fulham in the first 15 minutes. There was a lot of loose passes from both sides. You were kind of going to this side, going to that side, but it never really felt like anybody was actually going to score. There was just no end product. There was just no quality. And you have to wonder, are they tired? Are they switched off? Are they overwhelmed? I can't understand how two teams in contention for European football, knowing how many other teams around them are fighting also for European football, who have been very good. Fulham have had a good few matches. Brentford have been very good this season. They've massively exceeded expectations. And then this match comes around, two teams playing each other, and it just... Honestly, it was so incredibly boring. If you didn't see it, thank your lucky stars. I hope you did something a little bit more fruitful with your early afternoon than watching that. Now, towards the end of the first half, Iwobi ended up going off for Fulham. He was running, he grabs the back of his leg, which is normally where the hamstring is, and then he goes down and he's subbed off basically straight away. They work on him a little bit and then he's subbed off. He walks off the pitch. He didn't look to be limping in any sort of pronounced way, so maybe it's not the hamstring, but it was that kind of an area that he was grabbing. The reason I bring it up is because obviously he is an important player for them, and he's somebody that, if they are to get European football, they would like to think he's going to be fit for the rest of the season, but we don't know. It was maybe precautionary, but he felt something at the back of his leg and he was subbed off. Chukwueze come on, who has actually been decent for them this season, has been a little bit exciting. I thought, okay, are we going to get a bit more? Fulham, as the kind of half had gone on, sort of built their way into it. But again, there was nothing dangerous. Then kind of the very, very end of the first half, Brentford kind of were getting a few corners of, they were up in the Fulham third. But there was just nothing happening. So we moved into the second half. I thought Sessegnon was decent for Fulham. Attacking, he was doing well. Defending, though, not so much. Defending, not fantastic. I'm just trying to think, was there anything? I've written down here, just another boring lull in the match. I thought Damsgaard was decent for Brentford. However, adding to the underwhelmingness of everything, Igor Thiago, right, who everybody has been singing his absolute praises all season, saying how fantastic he is, what a revolutionary season he's having, and etc, etc. He's been getting all the plaudits, all the praise, myself included. He has 21 goals so far this season. That is only one behind Erling Haaland. So at the moment, top of the league, 4 goals is Erling Haaland on 22. Igor Thiago was 21. If he had scored 2 goals today, which was very possible in this match. This match was anybody's for the taking. If any single player had shown a bit of quality, this match was there for the taking. Absolutely. Igor Thiago, no. He just needed two little goals. As we know, City are going to play Arsenal, so Erling Haaland, you would think, probably will score some goals, but, I mean, of all the matches that he maybe won't score in, this is one of them. So if Igor Thiago goes out there against Fulham, scores himself 2 wee goals, and then Erling Haaland doesn't score against Arsenal, which is at least possible, he could have finished this Premier League week, or this Premier League game week, or whatever way they want to call it, top of the goals for the Premier League this season. That would have been incredible. And he wasn't at the races today, Igor Thiago. It's the worst I've seen him play this season. Obviously, I don't watch every single Brentford match. I've watched a number of them, though. That's the worst I've seen him play. Really, really underwhelming. But again, it was just the whole match was. I thought it was really disappointing, as I said, for 2 teams that are supposedly going for European football, that are kind of, rubbing shoulders with the so-called big boys, that have got themselves into positions that maybe wouldn't have been expected before the season, particularly with Brentford. Igor Thiago as an individual, 21 goals, 1 behind Erling Haaland, could have actually overtaken him. And just nothing was happening. The best chance of the whole match came in the 90th minute. In the 90th minute, Leno, the Fulham keeper, had to make an unbelievable save to keep it at 0-0. Other than that, the whole match, just nothing was happening. There was no quality whatsoever. I was very, very, very disappointed. But another thing that I found quite interesting, and I just want to bring it up because it wouldn't be me to talk about the referees. However, the referee for this match was Paul Tierney, okay? Some of you might remember his name from some of my previous videos. We're not friends right now. We are not friends at all. But Paul Tierney was the referee today. Several times, the commentators, the official commentators of the match, questioned decisions he was making. Several times, one of the commentators said, and I'm paraphrasing, so this might not be exactly correct, I'm paraphrasing, said that there are a list of decisions today that he didn't agree with, and you could add that decision to the list. That's how bad it was. There was nothing overly crazy, but there was a number of them. Probably the biggest decision was there was a lunge and tackle on Damsgaard, and it was quite dangerous. It was what you consider a dangerous lunge, They have a name for that. And really, it should have been a free kick and at minimum a yellow. It wasn't even a free kick. He didn't even look at it. And again, this is something the official commentators are saying. This isn't just me on YouTube with a bee in my bonnet because he's annoyed me and he's picked on my team a little bit. This is the official match commentators were saying this. And I just thought it was so incredibly interesting to hear the official commentators talking about the refereeing performance and how not good it was. In the end, I don't think it decided the match. I don't think there was really enough quality there from either side to win the match. I think the result is probably a fair reflection of how the match went. I would say 0-0. It felt like a 0-0 match. It felt like a 0-0 performance. I think it was a fair result. Both teams had patches. Neither of them were particularly good. The referee's decisions didn't decide the match, but it's just noteworthy that even the match commentators are saying how bad the referee is performing. So it's just, they did later go on to say, which I found a little bit amusing, right? So the commentators spent a lot of the match criticising the referee, saying how he wasn't having a good performance, how they disagreed with loads of his decisions, right? And then there was a pullback on one of the Brentford players, okay? The Brentford captain is speaking to the referee, explaining, well, he's pulled him back during a promising play. Should that not be a yellow card? And the commentators are like, I'm sure the referee knows how to referee the match without the player telling him. And it's like, well, you've spent the whole match telling us that he can't referee the match and his decisions are wrong. So I was a bit like, well, if you think he can't referee the match and his decisions are wrong, is it crazy that the players might feel that way? Also, it wasn't as if the players surrounded him or like it wasn't crazy or anything. The captain queried a decision with the referee. That's what they're allowed to. That's the whole point of it, is the captain is allowed to. I just thought it was very funny because they were after spending the whole match criticising him, and then they were like, oh, well, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. And I'm like, well, obviously not. Obviously you don't think so. So I did think that was quite interesting. But overall, if you didn't watch this match, you didn't miss anything. Very underwhelming, very disappointing. I think both teams could end up seeing themselves sort of overtaken, because if we look here at the standings at the moment after that match now, right? So Brentford are in 7th with 48 points, which is level on points with Chelsea. Obviously Chelsea are going to play Man United. Who knows what way that's going to go. If Brentford had got the win, that would have brought them to 50 points. That would have put them ahead of Chelsea. Even if Chelsea drew with United, Brentford would have stayed ahead of Chelsea. So Brentford had the opportunity to move into 6th place today and stay in 6th place, because Chelsea would have needed to win to go back ahead of them. So they've remained in 7, and as I said, there was no real quality in the match. So Brentford, the match was there for the taking. Brentford could have gotten themselves into 6th and potentially stayed in 6th, depending how the Chelsea United match goes later on. So it's a real missed opportunity. Fulham also, like Fulham now stay in 12th, which is obviously kind of very, very much middle of the table, but they could have given themselves, if they'd got the 3 points, if they had managed to get the win, they would have went above Bournemouth, above Sunderland, above Brighton. They would have moved themselves up into, before the other matches are played, they would have moved themselves up into 9th. They would have moved up 3 spots. So there was so much at stake here, and it just felt like such a waste. Really underwhelming. Really just such a waste for both teams, for Igor Thiago on a personal level. Overall, not great. And disappointing for a half-12 match, because I find often the half-12 matches tend to be a bit crazy. Everybody hates, well, not everybody, but a lot of people. I hate when my team has the half-12 kickoff, because there's, the curse of the half-12 game. Anything can happen in the half-12 game. Well, today, anything that happened was nothing at all. So I thought we might have had a bit of a crazy match. Guess not. There's my predictions. Maybe that's what happened. I jinxed them by thinking there was going to be loads of goals and it was going to be very exciting. Actually, it was terrible. It's my fault for putting the jinx on them. This jinx thing is starting to come more and more and more true. But guys, like that, it's just a quick catch up, just a quick match reaction for the match, as we kind of decided that we would pilot this going forward. We do quick match reactions after the matches and then a long one in the evening. I will be uploading quick match reactions after the 3 o'clock games as well. We'll be live 10 o'clock tonight after all the matches of the day are finished to have a nice little chinwag. So we'll be able to have a chat and you can agree or disagree or let me know what you're thinking in the comments or in later's live show. If you didn't watch it, I hope you're having a nice day and I'll still hope to see you later on. Bye bye guys.